right, welcome. Punch the podcast. Welcome to episode 26 of That Range Life, a show sometimes about golf. You may know Chris and myself from the hit golf podcast, the Lockdown Golf Podcast. Just kidding.
Rest in peace.
I'm so glad that podcast is over. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, it was fun, but I think I texted. I've been texting with Adam Unfiltered a lot this week, and he kind of, I don't remember. He said something like, so what are you going to, what are you doing now or whatever? And I'm like, the fact I'm still waking up going, all right, start thinking of things to record tonight and talk about.
Yeah.
The fact that I'm getting at least a little bit closer to not having that problem, but yet it's still there. It still lingers. Means I'm like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready and I don't miss it. I mean, we're getting to the point where I'm like, oh, this was a really good ham sandwich I had for lunch. Maybe I'll talk about it on the show. Anyway, this is the classic OG Bill and Chris, That Range Life YouTube show.
That's right.
It's good to be back after a week, Chris. I've missed you. How are you?
Good, man. How about you?
I'm
Things
alive.
All right?
Yeah, it's been hot here in Chicago. Hot.
It has been
sweaty and
been warm.
It's been a nightmare. And then I had to cut all the power into my house today to fix some electrical wiring issues that we uncovered. So my dad and I were doing that, and it was hotter than shit. But hey,
yeah, that's rough.
We're here, ready to talk golf.
Yeah, excited about it.
I don't know if that look in my face shows my enthusiasm for it. Believe it or not, I actually have quite a few things I am excited about. One of the things we will not talk about this week, we'll say for next show, coming off of the thing I'm excited about.
Yeah.
I think you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But why don't we, because we have a lot of things to cover, I think we need to dive into gear talk right up front. Chris, my headphone fell out first. Well, let's do gear talk. First thing of gear talk, I want to talk to you about a highly anticipated piece of equipment that came through driving range headquarters, and driving range headquarters is really just my house and where I get boxes delivered to.
Right.
We may have talked about it, may have not, but it is the Tour Edge Exotics EXS Pro Fairway wood. If you see there, not a big deal. Finally got this thing, a good handful of testings. Oh, by the way, I may or may not have put a VA Shafts Drago in there. I'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I saw that post earlier in the week. Was it yesterday? Yeah. Did you do that? Yeah.
I don't know. It's all a blur. But I did do it. Anyway, this new fairway wood from Tour Edge. It's a big deal. I don't know if you know this. They make really good fairway woods. I'm not sure if I've ever talked about it on this show before.
Yeah.
But
you may have mentioned it in passing.
So right now, this year they came out with the EXS 220 fairway wood line, right? And all of it's long, forgiving, feels great, awesome stuff. Can't take anything away from it. Well, now it was delayed by the COVID issue, but they came out with the EXS Pro line, which is geared toward the higher swing player, the better player, right? The ball strikers. They're largely their guys on tour. And what they did with these pro clubs, with the woods at least, they're only making 1,000 pieces available to the public. I don't think that counts how many they're making available to the tour players, probably us cool guys in the media. I'm in the media. I'm a huge media golf guy.
Yeah.
Big time. I mean, Google SEO, am I right? Anyway, it's only making 1,000 pieces available. They're calling it straight from the tour van. It's like, it's the same exact stuff the tour players are getting, right? So let me start there. This is definitely geared toward a better player. It is. It's not as forgiving. It's a lower forward center of gravity that's harder to get off the ground. Not going to get as much carry from it. Sneak peek. I am working on, and as agreed on with Tour Edge, I am working on a EXS 220 versus EXS Pro driver fairway wood hybrid post down the road.
Oh,
Started
nice.
started working on that. I think last Friday in the like side to side testing. I was going to just like, oh, I have old data I can pull up from. Like, no, I need to hit them both on the same day, see how they compare. My swing will be the same. Both of these fairway woods are so long, it's not even funny. And I'm just sitting there like, oh my God, I don't even need to play a driver with either of these. And to be fair, the one I have going in my bag's a 16 and a half, so called a weak 3-wood, but really like a
Yeah.
4-wood.
Yeah.
Man, they are so hot, so long. I mean, I had some shots with a 220 fairway wood, the more forgiving one. It is like the more distance one.
Yeah.
I had fairway wood, 3-wood shots carrying 282 yards, finishing 291. I'm like,
God,
Jesus.
that's so dumb. Is
And
that
I'm
the one
not.
you had in the bag at Water's Edge that you played with?
I don't
Were you
remember the
okay?
one
That was
though.
the
The one I
that was
had
the
at. Go ahead.
no, that was the one the opening par five where you had an eagle putt,
Oh,
right?
that
Because you
is. Yeah.
launched that damn 3-wood,
Yeah,
man.
that is the one, and that's the
Yeah,
one
that
that
thing
I'm
was
having like 290-yard shot, and I had a good handful of them. Not to be fair, with the EXS Pro, I had a couple like that, whereas that one I had a good handful. But it's an
yeah,
insanely long fairway wood.
man.
Um, ooh, why'd you hit a driver? I'm like, maybe I won't hit a driver. All right,
You
take
didn't
it
hit
easy.
driver on that hole, as a matter of fact. You went 3-wood on that hole.
No, I went like I think I went 3-wood, 5-wood, which sneak peek.
Okay,
Well, not sneak peek. Other just quick note. I had a CBX one Tour Edge CBX 119 5-wood following
that's
said
right.
3-wood.
That's right.
And
That's right.
the reality is I could have probably hit driver something shorter and easier in, but the fact of the matter was that 3-wood went so much. I went, oh, well, now I could play here into okay, I'll take the 5-wood. But I
Yeah.
really, if I was playing, well, actually it all worked out all right. Walked out of there with a bird. But if I set it up correctly, it was playing good, protect your score golf. I mean, it would have been an easy par. That fairway was so
Right.
good. But we're talking about the EXS Pro. Stop it, okay?
Okay. Fine.
Um, this so I mean, you've probably figured this out by now, but this thing is I think the exact words David Glod, the chief designer at Tour Edge, said, designed it to hit missiles, and in short, it does. This thing, you put a good swing on the ball, it just pierces. And I won't tell you it's low, I won't tell you it's high. It's just a perfect medium,
Yeah.
just
Just a good flight.
ramming a missile right out
Yeah.
there, just blowing through any wind. It's fantastic. The catch is it's super versatile. So you're like, oh, I need to hit a light, high, soft landing fairway wood. Can still do it. No problem. That's the whole thing with this. It's very, very, the premium is on the control, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's easy to control. You can hit it low, you can hit it high. Again, it's for the better players. So they need to be able to hit, they want to make all these different shots. It has that. But when you just need to hit that stock piercing, in my case, apparently now 7,000-yard fairway wood bomb off the
Right.
deck, it's in
Right.
it. And I think now that I put my VA Drago in here, the stock choice I went with was the Hazardous Smoke Yellow, which was very good.
Yeah.
This VA Drago is really good. So I think I'm excited. I just put it in this weekend. I'm excited to get out and see what it can do. But the other catch, and let me show you in case you didn't catch it when I put it up the first time, even though you could do pictures, but hey, it's cooler to do things in hand like we're professional.
That's
You
true.
see here, you have a weight at the
Yeah.
toe and a weight at the heel. People have been making adjustable weights in their clubs now for some time. That's not necessarily new, but Tour Edge has not been giving us that ability, for in their high end premium shot maker fairway woods. They've added these weights. You can adjust them so you could put a heavier weight in the toe, lighter weight in the heel. You could switch them around, and depending on how you set up your weights, that's going to control the shape of your flight. So if you're like, oh,
Sure.
I'm leaking them a little right, I'm going to put a heavier weight in my heel, a lighter weight in the toe, or vice versa. Or it's like, hey, I don't want
Hmm.
any influence. You can just make them the same exact weight. You need a little
Yeah.
more swing weight, or you want to get in the air a little more. Actually, no, it'd be different. If you wanted to get it lower, maybe put heavier weights in it to keep that center of gravity even lower.
Right.
Either way, you can make these adjustments.
How do you get the weights? Do you get like, can you buy them separately, or do you get like a preference when you order it? Do you know, or
I don't. I wonder if they will allow you to like choose your weights when you order it in the future. Right now, you can't. Right now, it
okay,
comes stock with a. Should have been prepared for this considering I made a note. It looks like you come stock with a 10-gram weight in the heel and a 5-gram weight in the toe. So the stock
okay,
build is for
is
a
a draw
draw
bias,
flight. Yeah.
right?
Now, they say on the page additional weights will be available for purchase. I think you'll be able to buy a weight kit or just individual weights. But you're starting to get into, I feel like you need to know what you're doing when you start going down that route. And again,
For sure.
it's a better players club. You're probably going to have that idea and insight in your head anyway
Yeah,
to make an educated purchase. But theoretically, I think you should be able to get them fit. That said, who knows? I mean, there's 1,000 of them made available to the public. They're in some club champions. Like, who knows how long these are going to be available, especially after this YouTube show drops and everyone
oh
hears what I have to say about it. They're going to buy them
yeah,
up like crazy.
you're nothing if not an influencer,
That's what
huge influencer.
my wife is like, you are quite the golf influencer. I'm proud of what you do with this golf thing.
I wouldn't even limit you to golf. You're just an influencer, man. Straight up, you're like a life influencer.
And at least someone finally recognizes it. But people are buying these clubs, man, and the feedback's coming in. People are loving them, and I feel like I'm always on the Tour Edge bandwagon these days. So it's like, oh, shocking, you saying something good about Tour Edge, but
Yeah,
it's a
but
lot of other
you're
people.
kind of a Tour Edge hipster though, man. You were because they've
Ooh,
really. I feel like this has been the year of Tour Edge. They've been really
I
pumping
would
out some
say call
good
me
shit.
second wave Tour Edge hipster. I've known guys who've been into them for 10 years plus, and they're like, no, you're missing the boat. And to be fair, I've been like, yeah, they've made good stuff in the past.
Yeah,
Maybe I am missing the boat, but all the other stuff's fine. But I don't know, man. There's a lot of great fairway woods out there, and I have yet to in the last 2 years. I have yet to see anything beat their fairway woods. So don't know what to tell everybody. Go hit them, see what you think,
yeah.
and have something for everybody right now. They're fantastic. So yeah, Tour Edge EXS Pro Fairway Wood review came out on olddriverangeheroes.com on Monday the 13th. So check it out on the site if you want more nerdy golf guy detail. I can't remember.
The comp post will be real interesting to see when you
I,
put them side by side.
I still have so much work to do on that. I'm not
That
gonna
is a
lie
lot
to
of
you.
work, and I think I'm like, I think it'll be worth it for for your readers out there. I think there's a lot of value.
This is a sneak peek. A lot of these clubs are pretty good at doing what they say they're gonna do, as opposed to where, well, it's
Yeah,
supposed to be low launch with my swing. It's high and high spin. Um, so far they've done as advertised on the tin, so to speak. But I think seeing how that adds up, I'll just say this, how that adds up and what the end results are, and maybe like all else equals what the advantages of one over the other will be interesting. I will tell you this. So the trip I took to the driving range to test this stuff, was the fairway wood and the drivers, fairway woods and the drivers. You want to talk about the most exhausting bucket of golf balls I've ever hit in my life? And then I said, all right, well,
yeah,
I've finished all the testing and reviewing I needed to do this trip. And I had my new 52-degree wedge in my bag. And I'm like, let me, I want to see what this thing's like, what I can do with it. I couldn't hold or swing anything resembling an iron. And I just said, at this point,
really,
just give me a putter and I'll like bat the rest of the balls out into the driving range. It was
yeah,
horrible.
yeah.
But it was interesting,
It's a lot of work.
educational. It was a lot of
Yeah,
work.
it's a lot of
And
work.
and it was 9,000 degrees outside and
Right,
super
of
windy.
course.
So
Yeah.
it was a trip. Let's move on to the second piece of gear talk. The Titleist Vokey SM8 wedge. Right?
This is the
New
one I was
Vokey out
excited to hear
this year.
about. Yeah.
I don't why. It's fine.
Well,
It's a good wedge. It's a Vokey wedge. If you want
okay.
to talk about year in, year out, I want to say the last big like, wow, things are different here. Not counting,
I shouldn't say excited. I was interested to hear what your thoughts were.
so Tommy reviewed it.
Okay.
He actually reviewed it, wrote it a while ago. It's going up. It's up on Wednesday the 15th on driverangeheroes.com. If you haven't caught that yet, go check it out. And other than different soul grinds, finishes changing a little bit here or there, a Vokey is a Vokey is a Vokey. And basically, when they went to the last like big change to me from Vokey was when they went to the new, like a new conforming groove that still had zip on it, from which
Hmm.
was like approximately SM2, SM4 era. They're good. They're good utilitarian players wedges, right? They're not forgiving. They might tell you they are, but they're not. The
Yeah.
feel's fine. It's fine. Uh if they're for the player who's good at controlling their wedges, can hit the shots they want with their wedges. They know what soul grind they need. They're very traditional. They come in a cool, like raw, or I should say like a oxidation of jet black. So when it wears away, you'll have a raw wedge. They come in a brushed, or is it maybe that's a, no, they come in like a brushed chrome, I believe, and then a regular tour chrome.
Okay.
They're just very traditional. There's nothing new age, modern, etc. about them, which is fine because a lot of people are like, I just like a good Vokey wedge. Just give me a
Right.
good Vokey wedge.
Right.
But you have to make new products and come to some market with something different. They look good. I haven't felt them, but Tommy's like, they feel fine. I wouldn't tell you they feel great.
Yeah.
They don't feel bad. They're fine. It's a good Vokey, traditional Vokey wedge. So
What are you playing in the bag right now for wedges?
they're over there and somewhere we can find them.
Yeah, I
I
can't see where they are.
I have I am personally playing a 55-degree Mura tour wedge for my sand wedge. I just put in, I won't talk about it too much because I got the blog post coming
Okay.
up. I have a Mura MW. Oh God, what is it? It's like MW 5000 or MB. Oh, my mistake. A Mura Geekin MB
Okay.
5000 WC. In short, it is a Mura wedge you used to only be able to get in Japan and in South Korea.
Yeah.
We can get more into those details when the blog post comes out, but my guy, I'll just
Okay.
say my guy taking care of me as always. So that's my approach wedge, my gap wedge, if you will. And then I have
Yeah.
a 60-degree TaylorMade high toe. Really, really like that wedge, but I'm not sure how much longer that one has in the bag. Just I'm getting the shit beat out of it. That's my
Yeah.
wedge. Do you have? You know what? No, I'm going to save this for another gear talk. Maybe I'll ask
Okay,
you.
cool.
Maybe I'll ask you after the show.
Okay.
Anyway, go check out those reviews. The Tour Edge Exotics, EXS Pro Fairway. It's in a hot shootout to go in my bag. Legitimately is. If I'm taking a VA Drago and throwing it in there, I mean
Yeah, you're
business.
gonna use it, right?
And then the SM8 review. Go check it out. Hopefully enjoy it. Chris, this concludes Gear Talk. Leave that in there. All right, Chris. Great Gear Talk. There was discussion if this should go into Gear Talk, but I decided not. I just wanted to talk about it. I saw on your social media, you and I did not talk too much this week, which is pretty rare for us, but
It's true.
it's also
Yeah.
probably good for our refresh and the future of our media together.
Right.
Though you did make it very clear to me in your expectations of me being your partner in crime. So that was nice. Appreciated that.
That's true.
Um,
It's true.
sorry,
Always.
I almost started some
Forever.
other trouble. I noticed on your at Chris McHugh social media that you had a guest on Golf Origin Stories. If you can't hear the
Yeah.
dogs barking in the background, you had a guest on Golf Origin Stories, your second podcast. That's just okay compared to your
We
number
call it
one
the
blog
other
talk
one.
The
Right.
other one, you had a guest on who wrote a book, and you apparently are giving away, shameless plug here for you. You're giving away somewhere between 5 and 1,000,000 copies of it. Don't remember the exact number, but one, tell us about the guest, tell us about the book, and tell us about your giveaway you're doing.
Yeah, so the guy, his name's Jay Revell. He's been writing for a little while. He's written for Golfer's Journal, written for golf.com. He writes for his own website. He's
What's
done
his
a bunch of different
website?
stuff.
Plug his
Uh,
website.
JayRevell.com,
Did you
JayRevell.com. We'll
tell
put it in
you
the show
tell him?
notes.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you tell him though, like you'll never succeed without a really cheesy golftitle.com?
Yeah, well, that's funny that you say that because I own chrismcEwen.com. So I don't
Well,
have
and
them.
what do I tell you about your traffic?
Right. Yeah,
You're
I
not a
should
you're
probably
not
get
a
some.
you're not a traffic guy. Don't leave that to me,
It's
okay?
true. Right.
All right.
Anyway, so Jay was on the show a long time ago. He wrote this piece for golf.com about his grandfather, and it was about how his grandfather introduced him to the game of golf, and it was really good. And so he came on Golf Origin Stories to talk about it. And then he just this month published his first book. So I'm not giving away 5 to 1,000,000. I'm just giving away 3. But this is his book, The 9 Virtues of Golf by Jay Revell. The Forwards by Tom Coyne, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so you can go to at Chris McEwen on Twitter, and you can find out how to win a copy. It's pretty easy. There are multiple ways to win. We have it all set up there, so go check it out. It's basically, as it's described here on the cover, it's a book of essays, musings, and other contemplations on the game. So it's a bunch of kind of short, 2 or 3 page little essays about the game of golf. And it actually includes his story about how he was introduced to it and how he became hooked on it. And he's just I like him. He's a good human being. He's thoughtful, and he's a really good writer. So if you can't win one, the 9 Virtues of Golf, you can go to Amazon and get one for like $15. And in fact, I think if you have a Prime membership, it might be free on a Kindle. So even better.
I might just take yours and say, well, actually, that's a good segue. And this poor guy, segue here. This poor guy, when you started telling me about this book, I'm like, you know what kills me? On paper, that's exactly what I want to read in a golf book or anything golf writing right now. Like, I'd love to read that. But Chris, I just can't. I can't take it. And it's like even good stuff that I
It's
would
not Jay's fault.
No.
It's your fault, but I understand.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not my fault. It's my thing. It's my
right.
my hang up. I'll just use it's a PC enough term. I cannot. It started with golf Twitter right now. I just can't. And it's translating into golf sites. And honestly, as I look through the calendar, including my own, because I'm just like, I gotta get a piece of content up. I need something. The reviews are pretty easy, but I texted Tommy. I'm like, dude, we got a serious blog shortage coming up here, and I'm legit worried about it because I don't have a daily podcast that can fill up a space anymore. So, you just look and, oh God, the content being put together when we were really desperate with nothing going on, no one buying golf gear, no one releasing golf gear, no golf being played. There's nothing going on. When we were making up like fake masters as if they would have been played,
That's right. That's right.
It's almost like now everyone's just so it's like everything's just pouring out now that golf's back, and the content has just been insufferable. I don't want to say terrible, but everybody on golf Twitter is the coolest guy in the world. Everyone's really got something to say, and the takes have been terrible. Don't ask me for examples because I can't even absorb them anymore. And then everyone's like, oh, I'm gonna really go start some trouble, and it's not the least bit inspired or thoughtful. It's just trash. And then
golf Twitter's in a weird place right now.
And then
I 100% know what you're talking about.
but it's like it's in the media. I mean, Golf Digest, right? With they're like, we're going to be more inclusive. We've been part of the problem. We're not going to be. They're still awful.
Yeah.
Sure enough, I see. We'll get into. I'm sure we'll get into something to do with the Workday Charity Classic. But there's a picture of uh shout out Colin Morikawa for the round he played, or the week he had. But there he
Yeah.
is with the trophy drinking the milkshake, and you're like, oh my god, just
I thought of you immediately when I saw that. I
oh,
almost sent you the picture.
I at Golf Unfiltered it on Instagram, and I'm like, all the milkshakes, bro. Ooh,
We got another week of them. We got another week of them,
me and
mister.
Barb. Yeah, we get it, Jack. Okay, I'm sorry, Mr. Nicholas, but
Yeah. Show some
it's so bad. And
respect.
then so Golf WRX in my mind is, no offense to anyone else, but I think they are the GOAT in
I know
internet golf
you love those
content.
guys. Yeah.
It's not even that I love them. I respect what they do, how they do it. For a while, and now it's more like on and off, but they started doing the morning 9, where I think his name's Ben Alberstadt. I don't know how to say it right. Puts out like a quick hit 9 things of golf story every day, and sometimes it'll
Every
only be 6.
day?
But yeah, it's
Wow.
it's generally very impressive and often pretty good. And it's a great thing for someone like me who's like, I'm not combing through golf Twitter, right?
Right.
So I get these quick hits, and then I can read more about them if I wanted to. It's good. So I'm not telling you everything that comes up on WRX is for me. I'm not telling you everything in the forum. The forums is great, but they know what they're doing. Their product's solid, right? I get their newsletter. So every day I get morning 9, I get a newsletter, and I think I get like one more thing. I don't know, but it's 3 things every day from them. Okay. And you know what? It's not uncommon. I will click at least one thing from those emails. Well, especially when I had my own show to do every goddamn day.
Right.
I will click one of those things and read it. They are now resorting to, their forum has something like 1 million some members. Not saying they're all active every day.
Sure.
That's how many people are registered and signed up. Something like that. I could be way off, but either way, it's a ton.
It's a lot.
There are people who are well known, are really in the machine, also not uncommon on forums. They're now resorting to, for posts in their newsletters or whatever it is, about forum members, what's in the bag. So it'll be like Spotlight, Golf WX forum member, Sports Junkie 621's what's in the bag. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't give a shit. I mean, I really, it's sort of like,
I barely care about what's in the bags to begin with, let alone some random
I think
forum guys.
There was a time, even with pros, it was fairly interesting. You're like, Adam Scott's playing a 25-year-old Titleist iron. And
yeah, but that doesn't happen. Everyone's playing new
whatever
stuff
there's
now.
new in their contract.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
when you start getting into like, even, you aren't seeing the glory days even of Scotty Cameron, where you couldn't get tour putters and he didn't have his gallery. And so Dustin Johnson shows up with a cool Scotty Cameron with all the Jester stampings in it. It was worth the what's in the bags. But to your point, who cares? Unless you're getting, like, if you're going to gear dive him, be like, we sit down with Patrick Cantlay and talk about his setup. And he's like, I play 4 wraps of this tape and 2 wraps of this. And then I hit it with some incense for good luck. You're like, okay, cool. Like, yeah, I'm here for that.
Yeah.
But a forum member, I
That's
have
rough, man.
Fuji
good for
Tour
them.
event.
I'm sure they probably love it. The other forum people. I mean, it's like, I guess it's cool. You get to be featured in a WRX.
I bet
thing.
It gets so many clicks too. But like, I got a Fuji Ventus blue and I got this Tyson Lamb putter. And you're like, great. It's all cool stuff. But like, you're a Sports Junkie 621 in the forum. You're not walking down. You're not walking down 18 at the Workday Charity Classic today,
Right.
But I go, God, just where golf?
I think I'm going to do what's in the bag. It's going to be like a 2-minute video.
No.
because
Oh, you
I'm
should.
such a it'll be like, here's what's in the bag. And
Well,
I
so
have nothing to add to it.
I will usually do. Oh no! By the way, you're absolutely making that video for me, from my site, because it does fit within our brand, and that's the other thing. If you told me it was like one of the staff writers, or they have the guy who's like their club builder, what's in their bags?
Sure.
Okay,
That's cool. Yeah.
I don't even know if it's cool, but it's like they're the faces of the brand. I
Well, yeah,
like,
that's what I mean.
sure,
I mean,
right?
it's interesting. Right.
I get it. And again, they're the goats in this. I don't begrudge them of anything they do. It's just more like, where is golf media right now? Okay. And
Right. Right.
it's bad. So I'm going to segue that into, I don't even want to spend a lot of time on this golf media. We have no golf for like 4 months, right?
Yeah. Right.
We've had it back now for 4 weeks. Is that how many tournaments we've played?
Yeah.
Yeah. 4
Yeah.
weeks.
Right.
And there's been a lot of buzz. What's happening? What's not? I mean, there's so many places I could start with this point. I'm going to start with today. We record this on Sunday, the Workday Charity Classic, aka Week 1 of Muirfield Village Professional Golf.
Right.
Cool.
The John Deere B team, the John Deere replacement. Right.
But let's face it, great venue, great
Sure.
course, a
Yep.
lot of big names in the field, man. And the leaderboard all week was awesome, was great. And Poulter's up there, Fowler's making runs,
Right.
Justin Thomas is, all the
Right.
two. You
You
got
got the kids.
Norwegian Victor, and with the
Right.
best smile in golf, and then you have Colin Morikawa, who's like, watch out for him, everyone. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So I haven't watched any of it live this week, just due to life, right? And then last 2 nights I've had issues sleeping, so I've like come down in the basement, lay down on my couch, and the whole golf broadcast is on. So I don't even set the TV to sleep. I'm like, as I like come in and out of sleep, I'll just catch the golf from the day. It's
Right.
awesome.
Right.
All right. So then I hear they moved the tee times for Sunday early to beat a storm. I said, oh, all right. Yep. They do that sometimes. And they're like, Golf Channel coverage starts at 9 a.m. Eastern. I was like, okay, all right. And I don't catch the rest of the details because they're starting to get like, now here's how you watch the rest of it and what the broadcast is going to look like. And it sounded like theory of relativity explained out, And so I wake up approximately 8 something in the basement of my house, and the live golf. I'm like, that's right. Awesome. So I'm watching it, go upstairs and watch it. And then it comes to me like, that's right. Golf Channel's not broadcasting the whole thing. Okay, fine. Who is? Oh, it's going to be online. All right. I've watched, I kind of understand that they have other things they got to broadcast, LPGA European Tour, whatever. Oh no, we don't have that. This isn't coronavirus. This is coronavirus. This isn't the old days.
Right.
And they're like, okay, fine. CBS already has their network coverage picked up. They can't put it on.
They had a PBR bull riding championship.
I heard it was Emerald. I heard it was an Emerald infomercial.
Well, before the bull riding, yes.
Got it.
So
so fine. We get through. We can't put it on that. All right, cool. I'll go watch it on like CBS Sports Live or whatever. No, the only way you can watch it is PGA Live or whatever that is.
Subscription, right?
It was what, $6 a month, I think, which isn't terrible.
Something like that, $6 a month or $60 for the year or something like that. Yeah.
Which I like. It's not horrible, but the math doesn't make sense. And as I will often. I don't criticize their hustle and their accomplishment and the quality of what they deliver, but there's a lot of things about no laying up I don't like. But man, did they not put out the best post about all of this. You have everything you want in a professional golf tournament right now, with the cool young hot shots, a playoff with big names involved in it, at one of American golf's biggest courses.
Right.
How do you watch it? You couldn't watch it.
You can't get to it. Right. You can't get to it. It's such a perfect metaphor or analogy for golf in general. like the accessibility issue and and making it relatable and available and all those things, man. It's like, there it is.
PGA Tour and golf as a whole can just not get out of its goddamn way.
They've got it. They've got literally, I mean, exactly to their point. Like, you have no other sports right now. You've got
Nothing.
like, people are desperate to watch sports. You've got these young kids that are hitting 50-foot putts to extend and 25-foot putts to extend a sudden death.
That's not hyperbole.
And nobody can see it. No, that was actually what happened.
It's sudden death. Justin Thomas is 50 feet and something out. And then
first hole.
It's like, I can't even think of the guy's name. I'm so flustered. And then
Colin?
No. Colin Morikawa. I'm like, Justin Thomas, is that his name? Like, I'm literally at that point. So he's 50 some feet out. It wasn't an easy putt. Drains the putt in a playoff hole, thinking,
unbelievable.
What is the likelihood of a guy making a 24-foot, 8-inch putt to tie you on that?
Yeah.
And then he makes a putt, but we can't see it.
He does. He does. We can't see it.
I saw it at 4:42 p.m. on the CBS rebroadcast.
Yep. Same here.
Don't worry though. I mean, it's like, I already heard about everything that happened, so it wasn't exciting. And no, you can't watch it. Now, all right.
It's crazy, man.
Fine. Golf Channel can't cover it because the European Tour is going on in the morning. They got to cover that. Oh, wait. The first European Tour event, which wasn't a killer field, but wasn't a bad field. The first European Tour event back since coronavirus is on nothing on Golf Channel. Instead, I get...
Yep.
It's around 10 a.m. Central Time. We cut back to the Golf Channel studio to Rich Lerner and some other, white-haired guy that is probably fine, and I can't even remember his name, talking about JT and Colin and Victor and their shootout, and how even guys like Ian Poulter, a lot of guys made a good showing this week, and we're going to be back at Muir. Like, I don't
unbelievable,
care.
Man. Unbelievable.
Like, God, they just miss.
And you had another story in Europe that was incredible.
So God forbid you show me the European Tour finish where they have this no caddy option, and a guy goes, you know what? I'm not risking more lives. We'll be back, but I'm gonna take my shot, get playing golf. I am going to carry my own bag, albeit a stand bag, but still, I'm going to carry my own bag all week. His name is Mark Warren, has not won a professional tournament in 6 years. Carrying his own bag, just the first event back from coronavirus in Turkey, which, if I'm not mistaken, Turkey is not trending well coronavirus-wise.
Correct. That's correct.
Carries his own bag, wins his first professional tournament in 6 years. Zero Golf Channel coverage, and
couldn't see any of it. Didn't see a single shot.
How you can't send anybody out? We got to protect them. Like, fine, we have European partners though, or there's got to be something we can do.
They're broadcasting. Nick Faldo is in Orlando watching golf and talking about it. You can do the same thing here. Get a couple cameras out there, chase some dudes around. There's people that need work.
A seasoned veteran professional golfer carried his own bag and won a European Tour event, arguably historic European Tour event.
Right.
Nothing. We got Rich Lerner in studio and one of the best sudden death playoffs. Oh, and JT wins today. He would have been the first 3-time winner this season.
Yeah.
And we barely had it this season.
Right.
And
he also would have been the youngest, I think, to collect, what was it? Whatever number of wins, he would have been the youngest to collect that number of wins. I think it was I don't want to say a number because I'm going to be wrong. There's a lot of wins, and he was younger than Tiger and younger than Jack to do it. Had he won today,
excuse me,
he was pissed too after the round,
and he likes milkshakes.
Right?
Yeah. Which great.
He was up 3 with 3 holes left, man. Ooh, it's gotta hurt.
Well, and then you think he would. I mean, he went on a tear because that first half of the day, almost through 9 holes, he was 2 over. And then he just had to he just went on a tear to get himself. He was 4 under on the day at, I want to say it was the 17th hole.
Yeah.
And then Morikawa, what Morikawa birdied 18? Was that what it was?
No, Justin bogeyed 18. Mirakawa parred it. It was the 17th. I think Colin birdied and Justin parred to bring them within a shot. I think that's how that worked. Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
Oh, and how
Justin
about the
eagled
fourth?
14 to get
Okay.
ahead. He was up 5, I think, and then he kind of let it slip out of his hands there.
How
If he
about
had he parred 18, and he could have made what was it, like a 9-footer, I think, on one of the sudden death holes to end it, and he missed that too. So
how about this is like right when I woke up and I saw it happen live, like just as my eyes open, and you want to talk about like a golfer's dream. I just wake up and see shots like this happen first thing every day of my life. It was Colin Morikawa on the fourth hole with a 6-iron, just perfect, good, not at a horrible pace, square shot hitting the flag stick on the fourth hole
I
and
saw that.
bouncing out of the
Yeah,
hole. And
I saw
then
that.
the next hole sticking a hybrid for a second shot
Oh
on a
my
par
god!
5 to like 5 feet.
On that hybrid shot was ridiculous.
It
It just
was.
like landed, stopped, like boom,
I
done.
wish
Yeah,
like
that
TV
was
would never show,
impressive.
but I'd love to see how he hit that shot as a golf nerd in real life.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
so way to go, golf. You did it again. You're the best. Unbelievable.
Bizarre, man.
Along those lines, do you remember a few weeks ago? I mean, roughly 3, I think, at this point,
Okay,
that there was a
maybe.
big. We covered it on the Lockdown Golf podcast, but it was on a Tuesday, I believe, where they said official reports are that tomorrow an official statement is coming out that the Ryder Cup will be postponed to 2021, and that's all golf talked about for the rest of the week.
That's true. I remember that. Yeah,
Big
I
deal.
read the report on the air
And
on
we
the show.
we
Yeah,
were like, who's really surprised by this? You were dumb
right,
if you didn't think this was going to
right.
happen. You were dumb if you didn't want this to happen at this point. Wear a mask. Anyway, it's a political show. Um,
Uh,
I don't even remember what day it was. And then it comes out this past week. The Ryder Cup has officially been postponed to 2021. I'm like,
yeah,
it already was.
yeah.
No,
I guess
no, it
not.
wasn't.
I guess not, man.
And then on top of that, what was it?
I'm waiting for the story this week to announce that the Masters has been moved to November.
Officially.
Officially moved to November.
I want to say, so we heard earlier again, as we're recording Sunday, we heard earlier this week that week 2 of Muirfield, the Memorial, was supposed to be the return of fans to the event. And they went,
Right.
Shocking. America's COVID numbers aren't looking good. We're not doing it. No fans, player only again. What? Everyone's sort of in shock. Like, okay, we kind of get what's going on. And then, I don't even know, it was a few days later, but shortly thereafter, they announced, you know what? No more fans for any PGA Tour event for the 2019-2020 season.
Right.
And everyone's like, what?
Right.
Again, they kicked the Ryder Cup out.
Right.
They've already declared the PGA Championship, regardless of anything, will not have fans. And you see how most of the country's trending right now. You're shocked there's no fans? And here's what kills me. It's still leaving open for the silly season, right? The fall season of 2020
Yeah.
to have fans at the events. And you're like, why? Just say, hey, through January 1st, no fans.
I don't know why you would. I would say it's easier to say no fans and then be like, hey, guess what? Now we can have fans rather than. I don't understand why you would do it the other way around. It doesn't make any sense to me.
It's got to be something with sponsors and insurance and liability.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're totally right. They don't want to give all that. You're 100% right. It's sponsor money.
Even
all
though
those tents and all that kind of stuff. Like, yeah.
Do you see them all set up at Muirfield? All the tents that were. I'm like,
yeah.
Geez.
It's rough. That's rough.
So
hey, you guys were talking about something. We didn't talk about this, but real quick, you and Adam on Twitter were talking about, or you commented on something he had mentioned that
Adam
Unfiltered. Sorry.
That's better. Thank you.
Right. Sorry. Is the Masters this year not part of this season? And
I don't,
or next season?
based on what he described, because you know me, I'm like, I refuse to click and read into this. Fuck it, I'm over it. You know what I mean? I
Right,
hate.
right.
I'm almost like, does anybody want to buy the domain? And I will, like, we can work out a deal for all the clubs, because golf's so good. Like, you're always like, I'm big in that you're always competing against yourself. You can always
I
hit
love
it
playing
farther.
it. I like
Move
talking
your score.
about it. Yeah.
Oh, I thought I liked talking about it. Nowadays, I don't know if I like talking about how I don't like talking about it. And I like my handful of friends associated with it. And even with those guys, like, at this point, I mean, we can't right now, but like, I'd rather go grab some wings and a drink with you than play golf with you. You know, it's like the whole thing is just so. But then again, I'm a big, name your sport. I'm a big gear guy, so like, I'm always gonna love talking about gear.
Right.
Speaking of
right.
gear, I totally ordered a pair of hockey inline skates today. So
Did you really?
I could rollerblade with my daughter, and she's like so mad because she doesn't get it. She's like, "Dad, you can't get one. You can't get ones with all those laces on them. It's gonna be so hard to put those on." I'm like, "Listen here, I will not be caught dead in a non-hockey skate. Thank
I'm
you.
not putting buckles on my inlines, damn it.
People aren't gonna know that I was a respected hockey player with that shit." Anyway, I totally got some.
I was a redbird
Yeah.
with skates.
Totally got some skates today. Ordered them. I'm so pumped. And you know that I think I talked about this with you before. I was totally like, I'm a seasoned veteran of the hockey.
Right.
I cannot just have some piece of shit skate. I need to get the best. I'm like, no, you don't. You're going to be skating around the block playing
The
zero
streets of
hockey.
unincorporated whatever town. That's right.
Unincorporated? Show a little respect. I am not.
Are you incorporated? Oh no, it's Jay Revell. I think
Josh
that
is
was
unincorporated.
No, they're incorporated now.
I think they are. He's been in Lombard. He's been in unincorporated Glen Ellen, and now I think
they
he's
were
incorporated
absorbed.
Yeah,
Right.
It's so funny. Did I ever tell you he lives like he's like neighbors with my daughter's best friend? We found that out.
Oh really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
We're like, do you know them? And he goes, actually, I do. They live right there. So, oh, that's funny. Anyway, so yeah, I just got some good enough skates, and we'll see. Maybe all of a sudden I'll be like, oh, there's some kids in the neighborhood I need to rip some clappers at. All right, I'll go get some real skates. And then I'll have a heart attack and take me to the Central DuPage Hospital. I don't remember what we're talking about. Oh, yeah, golf media. It's golf. It's the best. Oh, speaking of more great golf media, here's one. Did you see the latest Tiger at Home series from Golf Digest?
No, I still haven't watched a single episode of that. I rely on you to give me the updates.
Oh, God. Newsflash, it still sucks. Huge buzz.
Was he in the backyard this time? He's like
yes.
putting or something? Okay.
No. Well, shh. Would love to see that. Wouldn't you see him like hitting some shots and all the different things he can do in it? And they're like, oh my God, this is a first. No one's ever gotten this unprecedented access to the Tiger practice facility in his backyard. Let's go. For a guy who's like, that is something I want to talk about, right?
Yeah.
So it's him and his personal interviewer in the backyard talking about the different shots he likes to hit and which ones are fun. He loves it when he's hitting into the wind. He can hit the real spinny shots, and how he grew up on a balata ball and you could spin them like crazy. And the newer balls, it's a little harder to do, and just all the different things he has back there. Guess how many shots you see him hit? Guess how many up close things you see other than, just sort of like from afar. Just guess.
Really?
0.
Wow.
Not a single swing of a club. Not a click of a wedge. Not a tap of a putt. And I think it was 90 seconds. It was horrible. And I can't remember if it was this one or another one, but Eric Recker of Fujikura tweeted.
Oh, yeah.
Like, wow, this could have been really cool. Shame it was only 90 seconds. And I was like, yeah, welcome to all of this series being the biggest disappointment in golf nerd history. And where everyone's like, well, he what do you expect? He's sort of a reclusive private guy. I'm like, he's giving the access. You're just making shitty content.
Yeah, it was just I think at the end of the day they're just mailing it in because it's Tiger and they can. right? You're going to get the clicks because it's him in video. It's not going to be some sort of,
Well,
big effort.
I'm such an idiot because you would say, well, look, you keep clicking them. It's like every single one that has the potential to be cool. I go, yeah, I click it because
Yeah.
maybe this is the one where they finally don't let me down. And then they let me down. It's
Yeah.
terrible. So,
Yeah. I feel bad.
oh, can we cover one more thing I'm hoping you know more about?
Okay, sure.
So I
Maybe.
think it started this week, and there was the threesome that was allowed to play of Nick Watney. I
Yeah,
forgot who
yeah.
else, but apparently it's 3 positive COVID tests who are still testing positive are
Right.
allowed back into the bubble, but they're going to keep them all together the whole time, regardless of what they shoot,
It's
and are
like
now
yeah.
allowed to play. How does that work?
Um, I can only tell you, I thought it's kind of interesting that everyone seems to pick and choose when they want to listen to the CDC.
Yep.
And I would just say, like, you should always listen to the CDC.
Or somebody, at least an expert that exhibits knowledge on it, which I've even gotten to the point where I don't even trust them.
Well, yeah, but if you're going to trust anyone, I would say you should trust it. Anyways,
Seems either way you
um,
should sign up to follow a governing body, right?
yes, yeah. At any rate, scientists, experts, that kind of stuff. Listen to them and do what they say. That's
Yeah.
all. Anyways, so we have experienced this in my part of the world / business or whatever, that we have had someone that continued to test positive for 2 weeks straight, consecutive, 14 days consecutively tested positive. They did have it. They were asymptomatic, but they were, I should say, actually, it was 2 weeks after they were quarantined. So they were quarantined for 2 weeks because they had it,
So
came
at
out of
a
quarantine,
month of time.
right? Came out of quarantine, had no contact with anyone, continually tested positive. Something about this virus can trick a test basically and make it seem like it's still the way the testing works, the way the virus works. At times, certain people, just like with the way this virus acts with others and other people, not others, whatever, um, you will continue to test positive
Well, it's
even
like
though
if it's
you
not
you
active,
can't pass it on.
I would say it's not active in you doing anything, but it's still there. Like the dead
Right.
body, if you will, of the
Correct.
virus is still in
Of the
you.
virus, right? It's like once you get the chickenpox, you now have the chickenpox basically forever, right? You have the virus that fights that off. You have the antibodies that fight it off forever, right? That's how those viruses work. Once you get a cold, you never get the same cold twice. It's always a different variation of the cold. This virus basically acts the same way. Once you have that virus, you're no longer susceptible, but you may test positive for
But they
having the
also
virus.
have no idea if it's really active in you or not, especially if you've been asymptomatic the whole time.
Right. This is where I get back to following CDC's guidance. So CDC guidance says after you have quarantined for 2 weeks, if you continue to test positive, it isn't actually positive. Now, the challenge is now they have to stay separate because you'll never actually know when it's a real positive. That's the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because so they could get it again. They could be a carrier. Um,
Well, that's the other
but you
too,
would
right?
never
There's
know.
still data still indicates you can get the virus multiple times.
Right, right. You can still carry it and pass it on without knowing. So these 3 people, I don't know. Hopefully, at some point, they do test negative. What is it, 3 times in a row or twice in a row? I think you have to test negative to be like clear or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, that's why they're putting the 3 of them together, because if they were to come in contact with someone that had it, they could pass it on to someone else, and
Why?
the
Just give,
PGA would never know.
just don't let them play and give them the
This
stipend.
is the issue with having sports back, man, or just like how you can't. This thing is there's so much unknown about it. Like, I don't know.
Golf, am I right?
Yeah, I feel bad for those guys too because it's like, you know,
They're wearing the
they,
scarlet letter, and it's like they can't. It's
yeah,
not their
I know.
fault.
Yeah, they're kind of pariahs, and they're even more disconnected. And
Dude, we're only
yeah,
getting started too. NHL coming back, and then you're gonna have, you know, Florida, the safest state in the world in America right now, is gonna have the NBA starting up there. It's gonna be
I
fine.
know. I
It's gonna
know.
be
Did you see
fine.
some of the food, by the way, that's getting delivered to those NBA guys?
No, is it awesome?
Oh my God, no. I've had better rations in barracks in San Antonio, Texas, as a boot camp airman. Like, it's bad. It's bad. It looks like Fire Festival style
It
food.
sounds like, by the way, the NHL though. Have you read about their quarantine and the bubble they're setting up for them?
I haven't, no.
Oh my god, it sounds awesome. Aside
Really?
from like, well, depending on how you look at it, aside from being away from your this, you can't have
Yeah.
any family within the bubble until the conference finals. So
Wow.
the soonest anyone will be able to see, like, or I should say, the like bare minimum amount of time any family will be allowed into the bubble is 5 weeks. Now you get knocked out of the playoffs sooner,
Man.
yeah, you go home. But so
Yeah.
these players are going to hit, and then they can see their family 5 weeks. And I forgot all the rules, but same time, these guys are like, God, this is awesome. 5 weeks, and I don't have to see my family.
I just play sports. It's be like when you're a kid again.
Then they have like they're putting all the hotel staff, cooks, everything.
Are they really? They're going to quarantine all them too?
Not like in the bubble, but there's protocol to follow. So, like,
Yeah.
it's, you know, you'll get caught, and they're reserving all these restaurants for the bubble. So just these restaurants. So I'm loving, like, you could get the theoretically like all the guys from let's see if I can pick some random teams that are in it, from the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Boston Bruins are just having dinner together because that's all they have, and they're all in the bubble.
Right.
And then they have like blocks of tee times at surrounding golf courses blocked off. It's like, all right, go play golf today.
That's
But
brilliant.
yeah, the NHL bubble sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Till they all inevitably they all get coronavirus, and
yeah, but then at least they all have it together. You can keep playing. Everyone's got it, so just keep playing the season. It doesn't matter.
That's another one's been interesting. The players who are like, nah, I'm not gonna play.
Yeah,
I'm opting out even in the NHL.
Yeah.
All right, golf. Good to have you around. Thanks. Gear Talk. Go check out those reviews. Tour Edge Exotics, EXS Pro Fairway Wood. It's awesome. Legitimately, Chris, you'll see it soon, if you will. And then you know, that who doesn't
check
like
out the book?
Yeah, check out the 9 Virtues
check out the book of golf by Jay Revell.
Maybe he'll talk about how the PGA can't get out of its own way a little bit.
Sometimes he does talk about that. He's aware of golf's issues.
All right, man. Another week in the books. Happy YouTubing to everybody watching this, and we'll talk to you next week. Chris, I'll talk to you later, bud.
I'll see you on Friday.